Well, this season was something. Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Okay, today I'm bringing you guys another review, and as you can see by the title, today's review is on the final season of 13 Reasons Why. Let's get started. However, before we get started, as usual, I have to talk about the storyline, talk about the characters and all of that, and I will try to omit the ending because I don't want to spoil the ending of this season, so I will not be talking about that, but I will be talking about everything else that happens in the season, and because of that, a spoiler alert is in effect. So for real, let's get started. Okay, so what is season 4 about? Well, in a nutshell, season 4 is there is a person that comes into their lives, an anonymous person, and that tries to expose that Monty was framed for Bryce's death, and so the kids are trying to cover up that whole situation, and that's basically what the season is about in a nutshell. Also, with them preparing for graduation, there's also that. Okay, so what did I think of the season? My initial thoughts. Let me talk about that real quick. Okay, so straight off the bat, the first thing that bugged me so much about this season is that it was only 10 episodes. I'm like, what happened to 13 episode streak? It only makes sense for a show called 13 Reasons Why to have 13 episodes. So that really bugged me, and I was just like, oh my gosh, why did y'all make it 10 episodes? But yeah, other than that, season 4 is narrated by Clay. And so we basically see everything from his point of view, and that's about that. So the first episode starts with someone's funeral, and we do not know whose funeral it is, and the pastor is currently speaking, and as she's speaking, it rewinds to 6 months earlier, and basically the season takes place 6 months earlier, leading up to the funeral, of course, and the kids' graduation and prom and all of that. Okay, so straight from the bat, from episode 1, Clay was giving me stress. Clay was always that kid that was, he was very, how Clay is? Clay would keep quiet and suppress everything or his emotions, and then he'll pop off at some point. Now he was just popping off at everybody. Like season 4, I was just like, Clay was just giving me stress because I'm like, bro, you need to get it together. You need to get your act together. Talk to somebody if you need to talk to someone, And I feel like that was one of the themes that they were trying to show, that if you do not talk to someone, ask for help, you will end up like Clay and completely go bonkers. Zach also gave me stress because he gave me very ominous vibes from the first episode, because he had that, oh, I don't care what happened had happened, I am drowning my sorrows in alcohol vibes. And when someone is that way, when someone is completely numb to a situation that intense, they can end up hurting themselves indirectly or even purposely. And he just gave me those feelings where I was just very ominous, Zach has the potential to hurt someone or himself at this point, at the state that he is in. In the first episode, a lot of things happen, a lot of just loose ends there. By the end of the episode, it's just a bunch of loose ends that need to be connected throughout the season. And because of a lot of things that happen, the episode just leaves you very confused, plays with your emotions. A lot of things happen, and you just left confused to find out what have I watched, what is happening. I gotta understand, So now let me just talk about the characters, what I thought about them real quick, talk about the season as a whole, So yeah, let's get on to it. Okay, so the characters, basically all the characters are the same, just a little more bonkers, more crazy, especially Clay. I feel like Clay's personality has escalated from season 3 to season 4. He changed quite a lot in a negative sense. He's just so angry and popping off at everybody and doing crazy impulsive things, and those give me stress because I'm like, Clay, get your act together or you're going to get everybody else into trouble, So Clay does a lot of things throughout this season that just makes me mad, makes me angry, but also makes me worried because I'm like, this dude might end up hurting himself, you know, and others. So yeah, Clay was very delicate, you know. He was just a bomb waiting to explode. But other than that, everybody else is doing well. I feel like Justin was one who was really trying other than everybody else, because, you know, he had his whole addiction situation going on. He tried to put a cap on that, try to get his life on track. So I feel like he was the one that was really trying to take things seriously, trying to move on, while everybody else was still trying to keep everything else under wrap. But yeah, other than that, all the characters were their characters. They were normal, just how they were acting throughout the season, well, throughout the series from season 1 to season 3. Nothing much had changed. So now let me talk about what I thought of the season as a whole. Okay, so throughout the season, we see Monty. Obviously, Monty passed away, but we see him like how we were seeing Hannah in season 2. Same thing happens with Monty and Bryce. But then the way they made it, sometimes you didn't know what was real, what was not. Like, things would happen to Clay himself, but you wouldn't know what is real, what is not, and that really drove me crazy, because you're like, I want to know, is it real, is it not, what is happening, you know? So they did try and play a spin on that. There were some parts that reminded me of like It Chapter 2. It had those horror, ominous feels to it, like It Chapter 2. But yeah, it just did leave me very confused, just wanting to know what will be happening, what is real, what is not, you know? But I must say, at some point, it didn't even feel like I was watching 13 Reasons Why anymore. It was just, I don't know, like, it didn't have a 13 Reasons Why feel to it, you know, like season 1, especially season 1, it had like that very realistic feel, very deep, very somber, very ominous, you know, that very dark theme to it, feel to it. Season 4 just had a very fictional feel to it. It didn't feel real at some point. It was like, okay, this is very fictional, very fake, very, you know, it didn't feel real. And I needed it to feel real, like I was in it. And there's just like, especially episode 4 had to be one of my least favorite episodes throughout this season. Episode 4 was just so not 13 Reasons Why. It didn't give me 13 Reasons Why at all. And I was ready to walk out after episode 4. I was ready to like call it quits. I also feel like the new characters didn't quite fit in, and I feel like it all started with Ani in season 3, because we have, okay, Ani's back in season 4. We have Winston, who we saw a bit of in season 3. Charlie, okay, I did like Charlie. Charlie was just like a comic relief sometimes. I really liked Charlie. But yeah, these new characters that they tried to bring in, Diego, I didn't feel like they were part of the show. There was just something off about them, except Charlie. I liked Charlie, but in the beginning Charlie did seem a bit of like an afterthought, but he did kind of sort of start blending in with the rest of the group. But other than him, all the others just felt out of place. I never liked Ani since season 3, so of course I was not going to be a fan of her in season 4 either. And honestly, at this point, like, it didn't even feel like a realistic high school situation that be happening. Like, it did not, like, do things like this happen in high school? Do they happen like this? Maybe they happen in America, I don't know. But some of them didn't seem realistic. Like, it seemed like now we are out here being Sherlock Holmes detectives. Like, y'all are legit teenagers and y'all are like covering up a murder in this way, you know what I mean? So it's just, some parts didn't feel realistic, you know. And I honestly had hope in the series for like the first 3 episodes, but then after episode 4, it just went downhill. I was like, okay, this show, what am I watching at this point? I'm literally just watching this so I can review it. Like, at that point, I was just like, I'm just watching this so I can review it for you people, so that y'all can see if y'all gonna watch it or not. But I must say, the thing that felt very realistic, that felt like very current, very relevant, had to be the fight between the Liberty High students and the cops. That hit home, you know, because I was like, wow, this actually really happens in the world, and that felt very realistic. That was one thing that hit me in my feels. I think in the last episode, a lot happens in the last episode. I was in feels, you know. It is quite a tear-jerker, and that is because, of course, it's the last episode. I always cry during the last episode of a series because it's like, oh my gosh, we're never gonna see these people again. But also because a lot of other things happen that I will not dive into, and I'll just go watch the season to see what happens in the last episode, because I feel like the last episode is literally what I enjoyed. So I watched 9 episodes only to enjoy the 10th one. Yeah, the last episode was literally the only thing that I really liked. But overall, I didn't think that the 4th season was necessary. So yeah, I didn't think it was necessary at all. So yeah, other than that, if you want to watch it just so you get closure to see what happens to the characters at the end. What happens? Do they graduate? Do they not? What happens after graduation, after prom, after all of that, just to see how they end their high school life. I feel like that's probably the only reason I watched it. I just wanted to see what happens to the characters once they reach the end of high school, you know. So yeah, I watched it for that. But it is long, guys. It's like 54 minutes an episode. There are some episodes that are over an hour. The last episode is an hour and a half. That's an entire movie, y'all. So yeah, no, it's quite long. So just take your time watching it, man. Don't be like me and rush it, because I just wanted to rush it so I can have a review out for you guys. Otherwise, just take your time. Take your time. So yeah, as I said, honestly, I didn't see the need for this season. You know, but I didn't quite like season 2 and 3 either. To hear my feels, I will have a series review coming out on Thursday, so be on the lookout for that. I'll just be talking about what I thought of the entire series as a whole. This was just for me to talk about the last season. So yeah, on that note, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, switch on post notifications, all that amazing stuff. Until next time, stay put and stay cute, y'all. Bye.